Denzel Washington was asked about the growing political division surrounding Donald Trump and the controversial border wall. His response will leave you amazed.
Well, back here.
Okay, I see you.
What do you think about the huge fence our president wants to build with the Hispanic world? And how many fences did you have to go through to win this award?
What?
Sorry.
What'd you say?
Okay.
How do I feel about the fence he's about to build?
Yeah.
And,
How many?
I think this is what I think. I think we as Americans better learn to unite. I think we as Americans need to put our elected officials' feet to the fire and demand that they work together, or they won't get back in office.
Denzel reminded us of something powerful. We are the ones who give these people the power to run this country. So if our leaders are not doing what's right, we have the right and the responsibility to hold them accountable, to demand that they serve the people who put them in office. In this next clip, British talk show host Jonathan Ross tried to pull Denzel into party politics. Watch how he handled it.
And I may be wrong, I get the feeling that not necessarily in terms of party politics or good, but you're quite a political person, quite a connected person, quite an involved person.
Well, I'm for trying to make things better. I mean, I look at it like this. I even say it in the movie. You never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you.
Yeah.
And be it money, talent, patience, love, whatever your gift is, you can't take it with you. So what are you going to do with it when you're here? Who have you lifted up? Who have you made better? Who have you helped out? Not how much do you have, but what you have. Some people have love, some have patience, some have money, some have fame. Whatever your talent is, we all have something. Help your fellow man. I mean, that's the way I look at it. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. None of us are angels, but you do the best you can with what you have.
That's not it. In the next clips, I'm going to show you some of the best Denzel Washington moments in television history. These are the kind of moments that remind you why he is not just a great actor, but also one of the most respectable people in the world.
I've been the guy at the Oscars without my name being called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when my name is called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when everybody thought they was going to call my name and they didn't. So I've lived it.
So what would you say to the people who are looking at this process and saying it's unfair?
Yeah, and so what? You gonna give up? If you're looking for an excuse, you'll find one.
In a time when woke narratives often reduce success to identity, and victimhood is worn as a badge of honor, Denzel Washington cuts through the noise with rare clarity, reminding us that personal responsibility, discipline, and authenticity still matter.
People say, oh, the difficulty of making a movie. I'm like, send your son to Iraq. That's difficult. It's just a movie. It's like, relax. I don't play that precious nonsense. Oh, move over. Get out of here.
Here, Denzel draws a line between culture and color, a distinction that Hollywood rarely acknowledges. He points out that true representation goes deeper than appearance. It's about whether someone understands the life, the values, and the context behind the story being told.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture. I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference.
Right.
So it's the culture. Steven Spielberg did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences.
Building on that mindset, the next clip shows Denzel speaking directly to a question that many avoid. When asked whether racism played a part in Troy's case, a character in a movie called Fences, Denzel doesn't default to outrage. Instead, he talks about self-reflection, personal choices, and the role we play in shaping our own outcomes.
Had he not faced the racial discrimination, he could have been a great athlete, a star. But because of that, he ended up a garbage collector. And perhaps this self-destructiveness, was it caused by racial discrimination? And is that the effect of racial discrimination on people?
Here's the thing you got to remember. When you talk about racial and you talk about discrimination, maybe, what if he just wasn't good enough? See, it's so easy to just say, oh, it's because of this. It's because of racism. Oh, I didn't get the job because of that. Maybe you weren't good enough. Maybe, like his wife says, you were just too old. She says, why don't you just admit it? You were too old. He's the one that's hung up on,
This idea of responsibility continues as Denzel reflects on Barack Obama's comments about Black American anger. He doesn't dismiss the pain of history, but he emphasizes the need to look forward. For Denzel, progress isn't built on resentment, it's built on purpose.
Because when you read, for instance, Obama's Audacity of Hope, he highlighted this issue. He said, I understand the Black American anger that he's not giving the same opportunities. Because if they were giving the opportunities, they would achieve much more. Do you agree with him?
I agree he has the right to say that. One might use the word anger, someone might use the word opportunity. You know, what are you going to do with it is the point. We all have reasons, or we might feel righteous reasons to be angry. But the point is, what are you going to do about it?
Moving from politics to the film industry, Denzel addresses one of the most persistent myths in Hollywood. He responds to the idea that black-led films don't perform well overseas, not with debate, but with proof. His success didn't just break records, it changed perceptions.
You hear often that black actors, black movies don't play well overseas. Is that the truth, or is that an excuse?
I've heard everything. And what I hear keeps changing. Because they used to say it didn't sell over here. Then it does. Then it said it doesn't sell in the South. Then it does. Well, it doesn't sell in Europe. Then it does. So I just keep pushing. Well, what an opportunity I have to prove them wrong.
From there, he takes a deeper look at the idea of fairness and recognition. When asked about the Oscars and diversity, Denzel doesn't complain, he reflects. He talks about winning, losing, and the importance of staying focused. In his view, consistency matters more than applause.
This is all happening at a time when the Oscars are being criticized for lack of diversity. I'm just wondering, what do you think about that?
I don't have to think about it. I've lived it. I've been the guy at the Oscars without my name being called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when my name is called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when everybody thought they was going to call my name and they didn't. So I've lived it. If you're looking for an excuse, you'll find one.
In race.
You can find it wherever you like. You can't live like that. You just do the best you can do.
As the conversation shifts to the media, Denzel makes a clear and thoughtful point about truth. He calls out the growing culture of speed over accuracy, where being first is valued more than being right. His message is simple: slow down, think clearly, and choose truth over noise.
There's been a lot of buzz about this fake news. You were the subject of a fake news story.
Oh yeah, what'd they say? I was running for president? No, I
you
voted.
were running for
No, what'd they say?
You switched your support.
I switched,
from Hillary to
yeah.
Trump. What do you make of all the fake news and it affects
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
So what do you do?
That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it. Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.
Denzel turns to the justice system and the root of many of its issues. Rather than focusing only on the system, he looks at the home. He talks about discipline, values, and what happens long before someone ends up behind bars.
And you know, incarceration rates in America has been a problem, especially as opposed to minorities. And Roman delves into the issues around the legal system. Do you think we've made any headway in the
I
legal
think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. I said, who? He said, little yummies. Look up, Google Lil Yummy. Lil Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father? Yeah. It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
You know,
That same theme of foundation continues as Denzel draws from his own story. He shares how his father's guidance helped shape his direction in life, and how many of his friends, Without that, ended up in a very different place. It's a reminder that change starts close to home.
Like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, 15 to 25, one did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together, but I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example, and they didn't. We can blame the system if we want, but they didn't lock any of us up at 7.
Yeah.
We were all doing enough to get locked up at 13. My parents sent me in another direction. They didn't have anybody to help them, and they kept doing what they was doing, and the system got them. So I don't, the system is rigged, but why, all the more reason not to help it.